Morning, everyone. As per normal, just wait for a couple of minutes and we get started. Good morning. Very good. Very good. I tell you what, of all the accents in all the world, if you remember Casablanca, that's not a bar you want to go into. It's a terrible accent. Sorry to anyone from Birmingham. I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds and get started. How many future millionaires? You're not telling me you're not a millionaire already. Oh my goodness. You're banned from the trading room. Okay, 9:30. Okay, yeah, quite a few of you guys attended the CPI one yesterday. Can you do me a favor? Give me a bit of feedback on it. How did you feel? It was a bit rushed, I presume, because people coming a bit late and is clanking around a bit. But overall, just a bit of feedback on it.
Morning, Roger. I think it did go very well. It was an extreme good experience. I think I've just put in the stop loss too close, so I went out on a small loss, but practice makes perfect.
Okay, just want to say in retrospect, I'm thinking maybe should have held on to the short. I'll tell you why. It bounced around a bit because I was thinking about it afterwards. It came out exactly as expected. Looking back at that, I think that was disappointing. And funny enough, we talk about dreaming of Birmingham. I've never had a weight problem. I'm just thinking dreaming of when you're overweight. Now you're overweight, and the way to stop being overweight is you have to give up your hamburgers, your Big Macs. But you really like your Big Macs, okay? So you're very disciplined. You give up your Big Macs, and then a week later you go on the scales and you find you haven't lost any weight. So you're very disappointed. I think from that, if you see where I'm going from there, I think that was, looking back, maybe the short position on the euro dollar, holding it, would have actually paid off, because even though it came out as expected, I think that result was disappointing. And in retrospect, I think that was a correct decision, a correct assessment. So yeah, but having said that, it just, when it happens like that, it's so quick, and there's an enormous amount of money, billions, trillions flying around the world with indecision. That's why you get you jumping around. The worst possible is when it comes out, funny enough, as expected. You'd think that'd be good. It's the other way around. And it doesn't happen very often, but what I like about it, if you'd followed the rules and understood the concept behind it, the risk reward was fantastic. In other words, if you lost, it, as you said, not so much. If you lost a lot, you didn't get the mechanics right. You shouldn't have lost a lot with the potential of a high return. And if it normally is out of sync, the return can be very high compared to the risk put up for it. I think we'll go along with that going forward. They're all in meetings, the FSCA at the office at the moment, so I couldn't have a meeting where anyone's listening too much this morning. It's all sort of, winding down the bureaucratic regulators. But anyway, I still think I'm going to try and push for an earlier opening next time round, because a lot of guys are joining late, and trying to pick up the mechanics of your first time in 10 minutes is going to cause screw ups, I think. So I'll try and start a bit earlier. Okay, I just want to read a couple of that. Good stuff, Mark. Which is the worst case scenario, Mark. Good
Morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Good morning, Anna Marie. Go for it.
It was very fast. Yes, there was time enough to prepare the take profit and the buy and the sell, but
Yeah.
the actual happening was very fast. I lost a little bit on the buy.
Yeah.
On the sell.
Yeah.
Which just when you say close the opposite, I had to go and look what was the opposite. But I only lost some like 80 Rand there. And then it went down to the buy, and you said, okay, put the stop loss. And I thought, no, I'm not going to look where the stop loss must go. I was just going to watch that amount.
Yeah.
And when it went lower than 500, I said, no, I'm going to take that. So I just took it like that. No stop loss, no nothing, but I made a bit of profit. But that was a good exercise.
Okay. Well, that's talking, to be honest, a voice of experience, but I can't say that sort of thing to brand new guys. But you did exactly the thing. Faffing around when you're not used to it, trying to put that stop loss in is not going to work. You need to be on it. And like I said to many guys, they're not used to it, they see what I mean. You've got to be on it. And you're quite right. The first thing you should do is, once you cancel the opposite order that wasn't filled, you go straight to where you have your finger next to closing the position. And therefore, you did 100% the right thing. I thought of trying to explain what you just said then. And I thought it's going to create more problems than it solves, because not everyone's going to right in the stick. They start questioning. We've got 2 minutes to go, 1 minute to go, and it's going to be a screw up. So as a matter of fact, that's what I did. That's what a lot of more experienced guys do. They don't worry about the external. All they do is they cancel off the order to avoid whiplash, and then what they do is they have up and ready, a finger close to close the position. And they would have, like most of them would have, to a second screen. They would see that the economic fundamental came out expected. So they would have thought, yes, it's probably like the downside. I get indecision. So if it starts going up, I'm out of there. If I miss out, fair enough, and I'm not getting out with a loss. So actually, you're 100% spot on. But to get that concept without, a first explanation, I thought would be too much to speak about. But you were right. But going back to the positive side, I'm assuming those who did take a loss is fairly minimal. Whereas a fairly minimal loss with the potential of so much upside should say to you immediately, this is worth it. You know what I'm saying? And so as I say, it doesn't come out the same very often. And the potential is huge. So the app of that will continue. But I still I keep pushing the trade room. Guys have got to come in, they've got to get the concept. And if they're not getting the concept, rather leave it alone until they do get the concept. Because if they don't, they're going to run themselves into trouble. Okay. Well, there you are then. Exactly what I'm trying to say, Eugene. Tell a little bit. Yeah, I just want to go back to something you said earlier on. I think it was Calvin. Well, thank you for your t-shirts. Yeah, I've learned a lot. First time made good profit. Yeah, you made some profit. See, guys made profit on it, and it was all over the place. So you can imagine if it's normally not all over the place, you really had a big smile. Yeah, oh, you've done it before. Okay, we'll see you traded before. Okay. Being mentioned changes that grow to the thing. Okay, fine. You trade before, it's slightly different. Okay. You got to remember, some guys are completely new. And I always use the area that you're a good driver and all that. You try and drive on the opposite side of the road. I remember in Tenerife once on holiday there, and I had a car. Never ever again. I've never such stressed my life driving my life. So it takes getting used to understand. Okay, so that's a good. If you see what Eugene said there, that's good. And even then, when it was all over the bloody place, you made a couple of bucks profit because you're on it. So getting the concept's all about, not just following the parrot fashion, getting the concept. That's great. So the feedback was good. We'll do it again. There's about 90 people on it. I'm praying and asking, almost rudely saying to them, for goodness sake, come to the trading room. It's free, etc. But I'm just wondering how many people do it. And again, I don't know, guys, listen to this. I've been thinking about this as well. You know, you ask a youngster, 10, 11, 12, you say, what do you want to be? And they say, let's example, doctor. Because it sounds like a cool, exciting dream thing to say. The problem is when they get down to the studying and the hassle that goes with becoming a doctor, they start falling out. And I think that's the problem we're having here. When they see there's a little bit more to it than, you know, buying a course and then putting it down, the money rolls in. They start losing a bit of interest. And I think that's one of the main problems with it. Unfortunately, anything that requires making above average income takes above average effort, etc. And that's where I think a lot of problem comes in. They're not interested in going that extra mile to do it. And the guys who regularly attend here, I think will probably understand what I mean by that. Okay, so from that point of view going forward, say, practice and practice, we'll do it. And I'm saying again, from experience, it's usually out of sync. No, it's not out of sync, not the same as expected, so we can profit. And the feedback I'm getting here, which is really, really excited me, is the fact that when it's come out in the worst possible scenario, still a couple of bucks are made. So as Eugene said, spot on, I'm trying to say, the risk is minimal compared to the reward. It's worth taking. Okay, good. Right, I've got a couple of trade ideas to discuss this morning. Going back to the economic fundamentals again, the pound came out this morning. Where are we? It's Wednesday, didn't it? Right, yeah. CPI was slightly below the 10.3, it's 10.1. That's high, that's inflationary. I mean, we all talk about inflation. This is a supposedly a first world country. I managed to make some money that something was chasing. No, it's not. Tempting, emotionally tempting, like most things emotionally tempting is the wrong thing to do. I've never found that why that is. Might naturally do shouldn't be the right thing to do. A lot easier for everyone. I took quite a loss because I could not get the trade declared. Well, don't quite know what that is. I know there's running around, but it's so liquid. There should have been enough buyers and sellers to get out. You're not like getting out of 50 lot positions, you know, when there's not enough product to buy or sell. So you should have been able to get out. I don't know why that is. Okay, so it came out slightly. It's hinted, remember, it's below expectations, slightly less inflationary. So that hints often at a slightly stronger currency. And if you go back to the 50-minute shadow earlier we opened, it did come down a bit, but it's going back up again, and it's hovering a little bit. Well, I personally think this is a potential short on this one. They're not going to get a risk reward. I don't think put it up here, 80 pips. Where can we get it down to here? Yes, you can. Must have been something else I'm looking at. Yes, you can. Yes, you can indeed. I see a bit of a range trade. I would like, it's in the sell zone here, and I see some downside on this one. And we'll look at the weekly to see if any problems there. Look at the weekly, it's holding. Look at the 4 hour, it's holding. Don't want one I was going to tell you much, 15 minute. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is even on the 15 minute, as it went up, the sellers are coming in. I think this is a possible trade here. Okay, so I'm going to put up the risk reward whether you like it or not and see what you think. Maybe a scratch high just above this guy here. And we can take it down to here. Is that going to be enough? 1.7418. It's not, we can play around with the take profit. Plenty possibilities there. No, that's not good, is it? So make this a little bit tighter. How far away is that? Until too far. Oh, that's ridiculous. Okay. Bring it down to here, just above there. That should do it. And I think a little bit lower there. Yeah. That should do it. Yeah. If it breaks above there, we've got a problem. You want to be out anyway. So the trade possibility is there. I do quite like it. If you do want a slightly wider stop, then we have to do a wider TP. I have no problem with that. But I like the TP where it is now. And I think the stop above there, it hasn't been there since 27th of January on the daily, yeah, or 28th of January now, a couple of weeks or so. I do quite like this trade. I don't know what you guys think. Okay, so Miller, no problem. Little cross beat, little cross to fastest. Okay. Okay, right. So I'm just reading on that. Okay. What do you think about that? This will explain to Bella. This is a training room. It's not a training room. You can pick up stuff, you can interact, but if it's basic, what's a Bollinger Band or thing like that, you have to go to classes. Because this is assuming you've done a couple of classes, you know how to operate the platform. You've got some basics to work on. If you haven't got the basics, this might be a bit much. And quite frankly, it does hold everyone else up who've done the course, attended a couple of times, and here might have put the practical use. So it's not a free training for beginners. It's an add-on for those who've already got some knowledge. Hope that all makes sense. So Raja, having a look at that and give you a few moments. Got a few to go through today. A lot of it's through the pound, to be honest, but a couple of others as well. We can go through them, but we don't want to rush them now. We're not doing a big fundamental move. It's a bit more relaxed. So what do you think of that? You remember always, it's looking good. Yeah, you're not going to get the tops and the bottoms. If you get in now, it might pop up. You might sell, wait to get a better price, and you don't get it, you miss the trade. So you have to stop out the way of the noise. It might go against your opening, it might go for you and pop back up again. The ups and downs, the noise you've got to accept. But I think overall, I do see that's not bad. It's the pound that we discussed before. It's not, in my opinion, one of the weakest. It's sort of more of the lightweight zone from the boxing. Potential Aussie is, I think, fairly strong middleweight. So sure, the Aussie fight having a heart attack, it should beat the lightweight. Well, we must listen and learn. I discuss the trades, okay, and then we'll come back to it afterwards. You're going to wait it out. You think it might be a buy, okay? Right. If anyone thinks it's a buy, we can put up the risk reward for a buy. But first of all, if you're short, tell me so, and then we'll put the figures down, and then we'll look at the buy if anyone wants to look at the buy. So we'll start off with the short first. And Tommy likes it. Anybody else like it? Eugene likes it. Anybody else? Okay, that's good enough for me. I'm going to put it down. Right. GBP, AUD. Make it 1.75. Goes between the spreads at 25. 1.757. 575. Not much of a risk, only 65 bucks a micro as well, which is not bad. 74.18. Ignore the fifth decimal point, don't worry about it. We're after pips, not points. You got, there we are. Okay, you could hit the stop, is that correct? I think the stop's a bit tight, but then we're not going to do a risk reward. Okay, all right, let me try a slightly wider stop, we can do it. If you want a slightly wider stop, maybe there. That might just squeeze it. But I can't put it above this guy without putting the TP down there, and I'm not that confident that's going to occur. And a couple of things to buy. Okay, so up to you. We'll put on the buy now. If you got it, you got it. There we are. I'll put down the original figures. I've written them down. Okay. All right, look at the buy. Where do you want to put the TP and where do you want the SL? Do you want to do a 4 after the TP? Somewhere down here or down here? Yeah, I like as well. But we can do a buy if you like. If you want, I've made my voice, I'm not too, we've made the TP there, 1.67623. And maybe the stop, that stop's not going to work. There we are. So we'd have to put the stop a bit tighter, clearly. Have to use a 4 after that. Maybe around about there. How does that look? What about the day for you? The only thing I don't like about it, it's well within today's range. Today's only 9 hours old. That's why I'm not happy with that stop there. I'm just saying, you look at it if you like it. I'm definitely not for that one. For me personally, if you're going to do this, you're going to have a stop down here. And that means you're going to have the TP up there. And even that's not going to work. You have to have it there. You're going to have to do it there on the long. Otherwise, it's not going to work. If anyone likes the long, I'll put it down. We'll see what comes right. I've made my statement. I've made my thing. Other people are thinking now. They're learning. So, right. Who wants to do? It's too tight to stop the previous one. It's not going to work. Anyone want to go on along on that basis? You want to go on along on that? Okay, anyone join Anne-Marie? Anna-Marie? Okay, all right. I'll put it down anyway because we've got 2 opposing. So since how it works out, 1.71, 1.7397, 1.74 would do it actually. 1.7743. Okay, see how that goes. Okay. It breaks there as a long opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we'll come back to that. I'm going to wait. Yeah, okay, fine. We'll see how that goes anyway. Well, I've got them both down. All right, we'll do the GBP NZD. They're all in the GBP, by the way. Let's do it in order. Might do it in order. Yeah. GBP CHF. No, not so sure about this. I like the short, but no, we're not going to get one. No, too much indecision. Leave it alone. GBP NZD. Also a short. Let's have a look to see if we can get a decent stop loss up there. It's got to be a wide one, but we got at least. We'll have to take it down there to make it work. I prefer to take it to there, to be honest. That's 1118. No, it's not going to work. If you take it down there, it's not going to work. Maybe there, 750. We'll try it. I think it's going to work. We'll try it. Yeah, just about works. I'm looking for a sell on that one as well. Look at that as well. Just writing it down, the Japanese one. Okay, what about that one? You want to go for a long? Sell. I'm for the short on this one. Let's just quickly check the other charts. Yep, I'm happy with that in the weekly. On the 4 hour, didn't tell me anything on that, so crunch it a bit. A bit sad, not brilliant, but yeah. I think there's more ticks to go for it than not to go for it, so I quite like it. So, anyone like this one? We don't have a training for beginners. We have a course, Sabella, where have you bought a stock market college package? Everyone think about this trade with our answer, Sabella. Have you bought the stock market college education package? Can you write down like yes or no? Just holding everyone up. We've got to move on. Simple question, yes or no. Okay, and then I can help you. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, I need an answer, otherwise I can't assist. Have you bought the stock market college package? Either you have or you haven't, and we can take it from there. No, not too much Coyote now. I'm talking about Sabella. Okay, fair enough. Oh, yes, you have. Right. Then you need to go to classes and get the basic education, and then you can come into the trading room and it make more sense to you. Okay. Right. So anybody like this trade? You don't? I'll move on. Okay. Eugene sort of likes it, sort of being the operative word. Okay. That's good enough. We'll try that again. What's that now? Okay, good enough. All right. I've got it written down, so we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, go to Stock Market College. You bought the package. Go to the LMS and look at the educational classes for Zoom. Go do them there. Okay, where was the next one? GBP JPY. Fair enough, Courtney, fair enough. You want to sell it. Yeah, it's come right down to resistance in the neutral zone. Am I confident going to break through? It might do, but I'm not confident enough to go in yet. I still think there's a good chance it might come off, but I'd rather go for a higher entry or a break through the 50-day, a confirmed break. In other words, like I said before, if it breaks, don't go in if it breaks. It's got to go down, come back, test, and then come down, stop up here, TP down there, we'll get a trade. I wouldn't enter it at the moment.
Yeah, Roger, a quick question. So you said if now this GBP JPY goes through the 50-day downwards, then you do a sell.
Yeah. When it breaks there, you need confirmation. He might put his head down here, you sell it, go straight up again. So it needs to break through there, come down a bit. It needs then to go back up. Then it attacks it, and now this starts to hold. This is resistance at the moment. That
Then
now becomes support.
Yeah.
Then it comes down again. Then you can put your entry in with the stop up here somewhere and your TP down there. Yeah.
So you wouldn't see it as a confirmation of a buy if it hit the 50.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you mean. Okay. It is a good point. Now, we're all naturally prejudiced. I'm compared to everyone else. And my mind's fixated on the sell, but it's a very good point. You've got to look at what the buyers are doing, not what's in your own mind. And have to say, from my point of view, it could possibly be a buy. So that's a very good point made there. You've got to try and look at as information and try and filter out the bias. I was a bit on the bias side. Thank you for pointing it out. Yeah. Alternatively, it comes down here, holds and bounces up again, stop down there, and you can take it up there. It's a good point there.
All right.
Either
So it's more about seeing how it treats that line than just the fact that it hits it. Because according to the books, that would be a clear buy, but
Yeah.
it's often not.
well, yes and no. It's still not what I call a neutral zone, but it would appear that the buyers are pushing it up from that point of view. So we need to keep the mind clear on it, not fixated on a weak pound and a strong yen. I get that. But as I say, I'm still emotional. I'm still biased to the short. I see Zeph's gone in for a short. To me, that's being fairly aggressive, but he's done it before. He knows what he's doing, and he's scored a couple of times. So it's Gerard, actually. I'm going to be, because I'm going to host a trading room, more conservative. So I'm personally advising staying out until we get a confirmation break below, or if you get a bounce up and you're comfortable, how far could you take it up to? So you've got 100 pips up there. You've still got enough to attack that area as well. With a stop down here somewhere. Yeah, you can get a risk reward. So rather, yeah, okay. So it bounces off that support there. You can look at a buy, it breaks through, look at a sell. At the moment, I would suggest leaving it on. Yeah, my clearly leaning towards the short, but I wouldn't enter now. So I'll chip in with you on that one for a moment. Okay, so we can move on. If anyone wants to do it, that is experienced enough to know to put the calculator up. I hope we've all got it, and do the thing. Right, where are we now? Have I missed anything there? GBP USD, yeah. No, I'm not surprised on to say, yeah, I can expect some downside. I'm expecting a bit of strength coming in the dollar. I'll tell you why, because it's disappointing, because it's, I remember about the eating too many hamburgers. You give up the hamburgers, you expect to get a result of losing weight. You find you haven't lost weight, you start thinking, hang on, I might as well go back to hamburgers. Same thing here. It came out as expected, which in theory, looking back after the CPI, I think it was disappointing. So I think there could be a little bit of dollar strength coming in. And I find that the pound is quite a weak currency at the moment. So I think 1.21, the round psychological figure is going to hold. So I'm thinking there's going to be some downside. The ship might have sailed on that one, as Kearney would say. The problem is, I don't like yesterday's candle there. That's my only issue. And to put 100 pip stop, which is a hell of a long way away, and it's still within yesterday's range, to try and get out something like this kind of, you might squeeze it to there, but might not. Let's have a look at the weekly. I think we might try and get a better price. The weekly is coming off. The 4 hours coming off as we speak. This again, you see, there's not many buyers coming in. Look at that. As it popped up, the sell's coming pretty quickly. Same story on the 15-minute. My only issue, if this had been about here, I'd be much more excited about it. I can put the stop up here somewhere. But where is the moment? I think if we can get back to maybe 121, we can short it. But I'm seeing the side here. I'm just thinking there's not enough meat in the bones at this stage of the game to make it worth the risk. But I've seen the downside of this one as well. USD JPY, I'll slide it down, come to that in a minute. There's Mark's here. I think he did pretty well out of that one. Because he went in again, got stopped out in a nice profit, went in again, then it obviously shot up again. So he should have done pretty well. Then he's here at the moment. So yeah, the sell there, I agree with. It's right in resistance. Maybe get a bit of a bounce to get a better price. Otherwise, I think the ship might have sold. It'd be rather frustrating because I think it's going to come downside. But I can't get the risk reward. 161 point, come on, something else. So let's concentrate on this and move on to the next one. Do you agree with me? You see the sell, but at a better price. Okay, fine. Okay. What was the one? US dollar Japanese yen. Probably going to say I'm scared on this one. Look at the rand, eh? Remember it was 17 and look at the buy. Sure, certainly got that one right. Okay, yeah. Clearly it's the buy zone. Well, it's actually neutral, but it's the buy is the name of the game. Right on resistance. Buy the pullback. I agree. And there's something radical happens to the dollar, buy the pullback. It might have to pull back quite a few pips to make it worth your while. Maybe I hate to say it, right down about 80 pips away. I see the buy. I think maybe, I don't know, but I'm not sure I'll be buying it now. I prefer to try and get a better price. Do you think it's worth chasing now? That's fine. If you want to sell it, Tim, go for it. I see the downside very much indeed. I just want to get a better price. Or get a risk reward is what I'm trying to say. Okay, if you want to scalp or something like that, fair enough, as long as you know what you're doing. Okay, well, what we're saying on this one, anyone to chase it here, a better price or a break or something like that? I'm a better price on this one, Peter. It's had quite a decent run up the last 4 days. From one, we'll do a quick easy way there. It's getting up 350 pips in the last 4 days. There might be a profit taking pullback before we go back in again, my opinion anyway. Okay. Anyone disagree? Anyone want to do it at market, or should we move on? Fair enough. We'll have a look at it. Okay, on the long. Okay, that's what you mean. Okay. Okay, so we'll move on then. Okay, I've got a couple others to look at. We're going to wait a minute. Okay, got a couple others to look at. AUD JPY as a buy. Looked at it on this morning. Maybe a ship sell. Don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at that as a bit as a buy. Come down to support. It's in the neutral zone. Buy or sell it. And yeah, I think it's come down to a bit of support there. Let me see on the weekly. Acid Quench, interesting names, Johnny. Not so pretty on the weekly, is it? That could be an issue. Look at the 4 hour. A few buyers are coming in. Yeah, I like the buy, don't like the weekly. Apart from that, I like it. Maybe wait for confirmation, but I see a buy on this one. I'm just not that keen on the weekly. Give me a bit of jip the weekly, but I see support there. I see a bit of a range. Buyers came in yesterday. Buyers are starting to come in now. 92 round figure. It seems to be holding. Maybe do a riskier one. I'll stop down there. Just below there, maybe a 60, 70 pip stop. Plenty of upside. Yeah. 99, so looking really around about this is a stop here. Right about there. We might squeeze it. Write that down. US NZD. Okay, let's come back to that in a minute. Okay, right. We're doing. I think 92 is going to hold for a buy. I think there's more chance of getting up than down on this one. I'm going to put let's throw my towel in the ring and say I see it's a buy at market. You want to wait on this one, or are you quickly doing your research? What do you think, guys? We're going to wait on this one. Okay, right. AUD NZD. I looked at that this morning. I can't remember what I thought about it. You wanna buy it? I'm not sure. I see you got a slightly different figure, 10955. Yeah, it's close enough. It's close enough to it at the moment. I think I might give a pull back to buy that. It's very indecisive, this one. Very indecisive. I'm not so sure. I personally think I'll stay out on that one. But however, having said that, that's my opinion. Anybody see a buy or even a sell come to that on this one? Can anybody, Tommy said she can't see the charting. Anybody else got a problem with that? I'm not sure it's my side or her side. Yeah. No problem. No meaning no problem. Okay. See, there's no meaning you can't see. You can see it. So I'm trying to find out. No meaning no, you can see it, or no, you can't see it. Okay. So it looks like, and Tom B, it's a text problem your side, unfortunately. Don't quite know what that is. I'm the last guy who actually comes to tech. Okay. So we'll move on from that. Okay. Euro CHF is another one. I was looking at a sell. Yeah, I can see with a C. Euro CHF. I think some possible downside on this. If you look at the 200-day moving average, how much? What's kind of? Ooh, that's not going to work. 28, 22 pips. Bloody hell, that's not going to work. No, it's not going to work. Not enough meat in the bones. No, not enough meat in the bones. I think even for a scalper, that's too limiting. So we'll leave that. Okay. All right. That's a few I've got. That's all I have at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I've got. So if we come up here, we can look at it. Right. Let's just quickly look at the tech stuff. The old good old NASDAQ. Remember, you can do a micro on the NASDAQ, which means everyone can now afford to do the NASDAQ. If you've got limited funds, so you can do a micro on the NASDAQ instead of the normal micro on the normal contract size of 10. I can explain that again if you're not sure. But yeah, they seem to be hovering very much around the 12.5. That's only it's telling me that is the world out there is not sure. Is it going to be more upside and more downside? They're not sure. Solid, good stuff. Well, not sure on that. Pretty sure I'm not sure on the FTSE either, to be honest. If I had to go, I'd go downside. Yeah, I see coming a bit of downside there. I think stock exchanges there. I think on a sort of a bit of a rally before the fall off. If you're going to do this, despite what it says in the chart there, I'm not sure I'd be buying this. I think this is a bit of a honeymoon period. I think it's going to be over soon. But that being the case, I'm leading by the American indices. The indices are indecisive. So I would follow on to the other indices. So I'd leave more at the moment. I wouldn't go for now. It might have another jump before the big fall off, which we've all been expecting, and usually comes your least expected. Okay, 100%. No. Dirty gold, I'll show you why I'm saying no. That ship or sell. Remember, I was mentioning above 1860, move your stop up, take it, rather be out and break even or whatever. Because there could be a pullback on this, could slightly stronger dollar as a curve. Yeah, I know. To be honest, no. There wasn't enough confirmed CPI to see a lot of follow through on gold on the downside. If the CPI was a higher than expected, no problem. But it wasn't. A little bit of dollar strength. It's not. It's sort of a nervy dollar strength creeping in. We've already had the pullback on gold as a result of it. If anything, it could move back up again. Either way, it's on here. I would actually be leaning more upside and sell at the moment if I had to do it. Because I don't have to do it, I would leave it alone. I would not be selling it here, number one. Number two, number one, I'd stay out. Number two, I'd buy it. Number definitely three, I'd sell it from here. That order. So I would leave it for the moment. See, it's on support, technically speaking. And like I mentioned about the CPI, yeah, most of that dollar strength has actually been discounted into the market. And now I think it's going to be some profit taking with a few buyers. I'm not sure it'll be enough to push it back to make the trade worthwhile. And chasing now through the ship of sales, I would stay out of it at the moment. Okay, it's still holding Schwab, but I pushed them up. The market's closed, but I still see downside. You still got it. I don't know where your stop is, but I would say that you should come right with that one. Okay, any comments on gold? Any comments? So we're trying to wait into the forum where people have their opinion, voice them, and you know, some people say long, I say short. Let's look at it, and I might even change my mind. I hadn't seen that or whatever. It's a forum where we discuss, and that's important. So I've made my say on it. 1828. Practically there now. Confirmed. I'd watch that DXY. Talking about the DXY, I'm just going to copy it for you. I think you probably all got it by now, but just in case it won't take long. There you are. The DXY is sort of, in retrospect, I'm not that surprised. Is it enough to get a lot of follow through? I'm not sure at the moment. So yeah, 1828. No, I just hang 5 on that for the moment. Okay. Well, he was in long, yeah. I did warn the guys. Yeah, it's looking iffy at 1860. Even though we're a trade out, rather modify your stock to break even. If you get stopped out, you don't lose. If you go, I'm wrong, you go up. Fair enough. But as it turned out, it did come off. I have to say, that expecting it to be honest, but still. Or if it comes on, you can do. Either way, leave it for the moment. Very frustrating because I said the figures coming out yesterday as expected. It really was very big disappointment. Sounds crazy, hey? As expected, it's a negative. Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to go on the same page. Right. Let me look at Schwab for a moment. Somebody mentioned Hewlett Packard. Where is it now? Around about the 30 mark. Don't think anybody took it, but it seems like there might be a possibility around that as a sell, but we'll leave it for the moment. Worry about that later on. Schwab, yeah, technical damage here. Don't like it. Technical damage done. Keep your fingers crossed. Even technical damage or not, I still see there could be some downside here. But basically, technically speaking, that's like now it's actually buy, to be honest. But I'm still nervous about these markets. So Tom, we're not going to do anything about it at the moment, but I think you might have a chance of coming right on that one. Although I have to say, technically now, it's looking like it might be some upside. But as I say, with his running around the fundamental fear out there, it can override the technicals. That's why I'm more leaning towards a short, but the technicals saying a buy. So hold on to it, but don't enter it at the moment. Okay, even if you could. Okay, right. Economic fundamentals. I think you've all got it, but I'll print it out for you again. Copy and paste it. You haven't got it, obviously. Post it for you. We have a quick look just now. What's coming up later on? Okay. We've got Lagarde speaking again tonight, this afternoon. Sorry, at 4 o'clock our time. All of it is on our time. At 3:30, retail sales are coming out. To be honest, I don't know. Seth, sorry about that. I don't know. I like all of them in the morning before I go into any meetings. And I can safely say I'm not sure. I totally get where you're coming from. It's between ears, you buy and sell it, gone right up and it's tested this area here of resistance. Has it broken through as yet? Am I confident on it? Let's try the weekly. Let's try the 4 hourly. Sales are coming in, but then the buyers are coming in. A lot of indecision there. Hourly is not telling me a heck of a lot. I take your point entirely where you come from. I can see that, but the buyers are coming in too quickly. For me, I'm worried about sideways. I pop up, stop you out, and then he comes off, or whatever. There's too many ticks on towards legal alert for the moment. So my view on that, I like the other opinion. Anyone else see a sell on that one? But I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm into the short as well, but totally lean to the short. I agree with you. But lean is not good enough to put real money on it. It could do. I think anything on any fundamental coming out is usually pretty quick discounted in the market. So yeah. So I think the GR will, as before, will not exactly the same, but follow the overall. If the American markets go up, the GR forward or no forward will probably go with it. Comes off, that will follow. And I think any news coming out the fundamental side like that would have been actually priced into the market. So you're getting the market priced into what's actually occurred. Yeah, I agree with Eugene. Okay, we'll look at Brent in a moment. I agree with Eugene. That's giving me worries. Let's do a shorter term chart. So I'm coming from. Pops up, right? No, it give you due. The sales are coming. Pops down. Some buyers are coming in. Shorter term, a little bit indecision there. Weekly, not telling me anything there. I think it's going to hover a bit, to be honest. Okay, we'll do that in a moment. We're going to go to the Brent first for a short. No, leave it alone. Too much conflicting stuff on oil at the moment. If it comes off much more, I'll buy it. I wouldn't be selling it from here. You know what I mean? You're going to be looking at this sort of here as your range, and they're getting not even $2. You're getting $1.50. We're going to put your stop up here. So you've got to aim down here. Is that going to occur? And even that's not going to work. So you've got to really aim on the belly. You've got to aim down here. You really got to aim down here to make it worth your while. You might squeeze that. That's $4.50. No, it's not. It's not. You're going to get the risk reward. It's no man's land. Leave it alone. My opinion, of course, as always. Where are we? You look at URJPY. Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. All right. The only negative I've come is the glance speak at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she ain't going to suddenly change her tune. So I think that'll be, and I don't think you get the jumping around like you do in Powell Speaks. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I'm going to work on technicals here, and I agree. Well spotted. I like it. Look at that. Held. Every time I have a problem, that's a fundamental, ignore it. Every time it's above there, where we're talking about December over 2 months ago. Let's look at the weekly. Any problems there? Right at the top of the range, 4 hourly. Some sellers are coming in hourly. Sellers are coming in, defend again. And remember, Kearns only do this a couple of months. See what we've done. You make the effort. Brilliant. I like it. Where's the stop? Stop about there. And then the TP. Yeah, we can take it down there. You could even take it to there. We'll stick with this one here. I like it. Well spotted. bit wider. I'll make it 53. So that makes. Make it 5.5. There we go. And TV we can make down here 141.48. I like it. Sorry, embarrassed what you think about this, Mr. Coyoni again. This guy's only been doing it a couple of months. He hadn't been trading 5 years beforehand, or anything like that. A couple of months. You see what I mean? What can be done? The matter goes wrong or not, you've got a stop loss in, you get your position size correct. But on the information I've got at the moment, I have to say I like it. Yeah, I like it. Quick check, yeah. All right, who likes this? I'm very much thumbs up on this one. Nkosi, you missed Brent, yeah. Looks good. Okay, a couple of people there. So I'm writing it down while you put your order in and look at it, whatever. So. Give you a few moments. Don't want to rush this. You don't want to panic and rush and put in the fat finger. Remember, fat fingers getting you put in the wrong volumes, stop loss, and push a buy instead of a sell or whatever. Give you a few more minutes if you like it to do it. Okay, move on. All right. I just want to mention trades going out will be in the trading room today. All the guys with the Financial Service Contract Authority in the office. They do periodic meetings to various brokers, making sure everything is sort of regulated. Reading MoneyWeb, there's quite a few brokers out there advising ridiculous returns and not even got the qualifications or the correct licenses. So they're tightening up very much. The last thing you want to do when you got to come to this kind of financial mess is trying to get people to jump into something with ridiculous promises which cannot possibly be fulfilled. And there's quite a few brokers, some of them would shout them out anyway, are promising 100%, not advising, promising 100% returns, guaranteed, all this sort of stuff, and not even a license to actually trade anyway. So they're getting a bit stricter in the office. What point behind all that is trades come from me. I have to send them to the office put together, send it out. But they're all busy today, so there won't be any trades sent out, but we can do trades for those that are obviously here in the trading room. Okay, just so you update what's happening. Okay, we'll move on to CAD JPY. I hand the floor to Coyoni on that one. That is, again, let's go back to, where was that? What was that? JPY. It's good again, show them in. Okay, it's right at the top of the range there, okay? On the CAD JPY, it's right in the middle of a range. The only thing is on the sell here is you're looking at this as if you're going short, that would be support. Okay, so it's gone right up to support. If you're going short, you're going long. And number one. Number two, not enough confirmation. and they're pretty even steven, these two currents at the moment. They're pretty sideways. Yeah, so bottom line is, it's not enough to me to go for that reason. If this scenario here with my crosshair is, pretend to take it up here, if it was there, exactly there, the price action and all that support there, I'd have a different attitude completely. There's halfway, sideways, I can almost feel the unsureness out there in the big wide world as to where's it going to go from here. So I think it's going to be thinly traded with a lot of sideways action going forward. But we shall see. That's my thing anyway. That's my take. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's have a quick revisit. See how they're doing. Maybe we should GBP AUD. GBP AUD. We got in at 1.525. Right, we're in profit. There we are. So, guys, you probably know that theory. You're probably more aware of than me. Gonna have to tell you that. Yeah, probably staring at the thing. Okay, you're in profit on that one. The buyers, sorry, the buyers are not. No, I'm lying. I'm not sorry at all. I'm very happy. That's called my evil laugh. Hope maybe should be money is concerned, but yeah, we're at least we're in profit on that one. Yeah, stick with me, guys. Maybe we should laugh outside my face just now. I've got to sell this one, 92.35. PNZD, it's about the same. It's a couple of pips higher, but nothing. It's about the same. Just done the URJPY. I'm not looking at it right now because we've just done it. Okay. So yeah. So the other one's about the same. The other one's 20 pips in profit. Now you say, should you modify stops? It's a bit early to do that. You can break to the 90 where we're at GBP AUD. If you can hold below the psychological 1.7 mark, then we can start looking maybe about modifying stop to reduce risk. But I think we'll just wait for a few months, see if you can hold. You might get a bit of a profit-taking bounce around figure. A few TPs will have been there. And then if you can sort of have a small bounce maybe, and then push through, then we start reducing risk. So take it out altogether if you can get it to the entry point. Okay. All right. Okay. That's all I've got for now. We've looked at gold. It's a bit of a bounce actually. Brent we looked at. NAS we looked at. Just to make you aware again, if you want the micro, you can trade the NAS. If you've got less than £5,000, you can't trade the NAS in the normal sense. I call the 10 contract one. But if you go to the micro, it's a 1 contract one. You can trade it with small amounts because obviously it's 1/10 the size of the contract. Okay, so in the meantime, we haven't got any more trades at the moment. Let's just remember the rules of trading on that comes first. If Calvin or Tuma or anybody suddenly said, let's look at the euro dollar or something like that, I'll stop and go on to it. In the meantime, we can have a look at this if you like. Now, this is basically, people like that. I always call it the heroin of trading. People just love it. They get hooked on it. But the trouble is they're getting hooked on without understanding the contract size and small amounts are too high on the other one. This is the other one. This is the micro. This is the normal one. So if they're going 0.01 it's just too much for them. So they're missing out. Or they're doing it and getting margin call and not understanding what's going on. So this is the way, if you go for this one, do this one, it's far smaller because look what I mean. go to specifications, right click, let's click on specification, contract size is 1. Go to this one. If I'm boring you, already know that. I won't bore you anymore. Just let me know. You've got to, but a lot of people just don't get the maths on this. They've got to get maths on it. The contract size is 10. So clearly the contract size is 10 times higher. It's like saying buying a motor car. You've got one for, let's say, 1 million and one for 100,000. They both move. You both want to drive. You both want a car, but too much. 100,000 one you might be able to afford. Simple as that. The figures are the same, the price the same, the spread's the same, etc. It's just basically means the contract size is smaller. So you can go in with it. Clearly, your TP will be reduced as a result, but your risk as a result will be reduced. Remember, they're in sync. If you want a high return, you've got to take a high risk. If you can't handle the risk, you've got to reduce your expectation of return. Everybody wants to make 100%, but they want to risk 0. It's natural human reaction. Unfortunately, it goes against the laws of physics. You've got to increase your risk to get the return. And if you can't handle the risk, don't do it. So on this one, you need, it's basically 10 cents a pip movement. On the other one, American, that is 1 cent a pip movement. So I'm going to give you, again, if you want to do the NAS, I see it's a bit of a short one though, actually, on that subject. Maybe we can do it. Hang on, technical damage again. Pity. I still think the TP up there might do it. I'll show what I mean on the micro. There we are. And then we'll put the TP in down here somewhere. Make it 11.5 on the dot. Yeah, you got your risk reward, no problem there. In fact, it's a bit higher. There you are. Got a nice risk reward, and look at that, 70 bucks a micro. If you did it on the normal one, it'd be 720 rand a micro. You get the differential, it's 10 times higher for the smallest position size. So at 70 bucks a micro, you can do the NAS with a beautifully wide stop. From that point of view, anyone want to do a sell on the micro? Now it becomes affordable to everybody. And if you've got a bit more, you stick with this one and just go a bigger position. It means now a guy can afford 70, but you can afford, let's say, 350, then you go for 5 micros. Or 700, you go for a minute, you get the mass. So this is, and the beauty is you can have a lovely wide stop. And look at the previous highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and it's out of the way. It hasn't been there since August, and that's 6 months ago. And we're on the weekly, remember? I think that's a short, not on the normal, unless you got fours towards the Tom. But this one is to me, a trade for everybody. It's going to go quickly in the little boys' room. Why don't you think about it? If you haven't got it, you've got to have a 5-1 to 1, I think it is. If you haven't got a 5 to 1, you're going to be able to load it. If you've got a 5-1, you should be able to go NAS micro by loading onto your watches. But I do like it. Just a second. Something like that. Yeah. So I like it. And number 2, remember, it's a bit of leading towards a bit of dollar strength coming in, leading towards maybe interest rates won't be coming off at the end of the year. They'll be solid, at least the same, and expecting maybe another one in May as well as coming up in March. That will be negative for it. and it's very far out of the way. It's going to take some seriously great news to put it back to the highs of August 6 months ago. And it's affordable. And the stock is wide. It fills all the ticks. So, and Cozy likes it. Anybody else like it? Not the micro, not the other one. Unless you got a lot of money. You should all be able to load it if you've got a 501. I'm not sure about the other one, but just put in the NAS micro. Should work. There it is there. What I like about Kate's everyone, only problem is you got a lot of money, you can't go bigger than half the lot. So maximize is half the lot, half a status, that's 0.5 or 50 micros. If you have more money, you want to go bigger than that, let's go on the normal one. But I think most people be comfortable with this. So there we are. So, right, we've got a couple people like it. Anybody else? Put it down anyway and see how it goes. There you are. 12923 11692. Eugene likes it. Okay, got a few. I've written it down now. So there we are, guys. If you haven't got the micro and you like the NAS, here's your chance. You get the cake and eat it. I don't know. The people seem to really like this NASDAQ more than any other, and now they can do it. And that was the biggest hassle we were having before. We're bringing the down, the S&P, by the way. I think the FTSE as well. But I'm just giving you sort of what's happening, but we haven't got it yet. But just bear that in mind. The beauty is because we're getting so many people not understanding the maths behind it and getting margin called. And it's not nice for them, and it's a hassle for us because trying to explain to them they were going too fast. They haven't got the account for it. Now you have. Even a guy on 500 bucks can look at maybe going a micro. But if you can put more money in, well, you can diversify. For sure. NZDCHF. Let's knock this off. Well, so weekly, it's come down to a bit of resistance there. I'm assuming you're short. There's some resistance on the daily. I'm assuming you're short this one. You didn't put that, you're holding on to it. I'm assuming you're in a sell, not a buy. If you're in a sell, it looks like it's profit-taking time. It might go further down. So I'm not sure I'd say get out of it in case it goes on further. But I'd say definitely modify your stop. In theory, you should be in profit. I've got no other information. You said you're in the trade. I don't know if you're in a long or short, or you're in profit or in the loss or what. But if you're in the short, which you should be in a profit, which you should be. You might get a little bit of a bounce here. So either watch if it starts to bounce, take it, or maybe modify your stop to maybe 58.20, and in case it goes through. That's why I look. That's why my take on that one. Well, that's my take. But as I said, I don't know if you're long, short, or in profit or whatever. So you obviously need data to function properly. Okay. Well, I'm giving my answer. That's okay. Right. Yeah. Anything else, guys? We'll look at. Do you want to look at any CFDs? I know it's not any for this afternoon. We can prepare ourselves. Was a long signal. Right, we might get a bounce then. Hopefully, it shouldn't be a long. Don't know where you got it. Maybe I got it. Might have brought it back here somewhere where it looks like it might have a bounce. Okay, but you might get a bounce from there, but it's not looking pretty. Okay. 8th of February. That's about a week ago. What are we now? 8th of February. Where's the 8th? Ah, yeah. The long will probably around here, held above there to go up. Okay. Well, you should have been stopped that actually. I don't know where the stop was, but a while back that. But yeah, you might get a bounce. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay, have you got a 500 to 1 account, Peter? I think so. Well, I'm pretty sure it's only 500, so I've been told. If you 500 to 1 account, you just put the NAS in there. If you're putting the NAS micro, it's not happening. Then you're on the office today, but maybe tomorrow you can go into the live chat and maybe get. I tell you what, maybe can help you. It's tonight. My good friend Clinton, he's very, very, very tech savvy, and he might be able to assist you. I'm not sure. I'm embarrassed to say I'm not sure how. If you've got a 5 to 1, you can't, and it's not coming up. I'm not sure why. But if you go to Hassel, get a 6:30 show, just quickly go there, interact, say, I'm back and get the micro, and I've got a 500 account, and he might be able to assist you on that. And if you've got his number, you can phone him direct. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, but I think it's worth getting because a lot of people like it. Okay, so that's the answer to that. Don't repeat yourself, you've all got it. Okay, that's fine. All right, yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to pretty that one if you're long on it, but it might get a bounce here. But the extent of it, I'm not sure because technical damage is done. It's now on the same zone. Clearly, we'll be selling it now. It's right on the bloody resistance area. But I'd be looking to maybe more likely to sell a bounce problems. But anyway, if you're in, well, if it bounces. If you're not in, leave it alone. Okay. Go with that. Okay. Anyone want to look at any shares, anything like that? I think we're getting near the top again. I think we can start getting chances some short positions on shares. But look at that, stopped us out and came nicely off. What a pity. Okay, Microsoft. You know the ones I like. Possibility of a short on this one. Yeah, there we are. Might have missed it. We'll see how it opens later on. If it opens round about this afternoon, this is a short. Okay. Yeah, you look at Baba, you look at Netflix and Tesla as well, if you like. We'll look at a couple of others. I think Hewlett Packard's a possibility. I think this bounce is coming to an end. I think we can start looking for shorts. As I say, the DXY has got a little bit of up movement on disappointing CPI, which will contribute downside. So these 4, I think we can get us some possibilities on this, which we'll discuss later on. We can discuss now if you like, but any comments on it? But I think just remind me again, HPQ. I think we've got 4 or 5 we can look at. If you've got enough free margin, if you haven't, can't take them all. You know, you got to have free margin. If you have 5 great ideas, you haven't got enough free margin. Well, you're gonna have to pick one you like the most. Probably this one actually. This is probably my favorite out of all of them, but we can look at them later on if we so require. Any comments? You like this one to the sell? Microsoft, yeah, very much so. Yeah, just see how it opens. Even if you know, if we can get it when it opens and decent risk reward, we'll go for it. That's the weekly. We'll look at the daily. Holding. Get the idea. When was it last above that? August again, 6 months ago. I like this one. I think we've got possibilities here, so we'll see how it opens. We'll go to the NAS again. Is the NAS holding or coming off? Yeah, it's holding. So yeah, even if it opens at 270 on, I'm pretty sure we can get something going on that one. And number 1 choice, we can look at the others. Okay, so just bear that in mind. I've got it written down, but remind me those if you want to look at it, just forget much of everybody else. Okay, right. Got a few minutes left. So anybody else any clarification? You got your position size calculator. You know how to go to specifications, you know how to look at the read specifications, what it means by contract size and margin. You all know about leverage. I'm assuming, if you don't say so, you all got the economic calendar, the DXY. The last one I've tried to make a habit of explaining. Don't forget, lines on there. Right click and go to template and save your chart. Save the template. Don't forget, put your name in there and save it. If you lose your charts, don't worry about it. Just go back to this template, and there you are. There's your charts, which you can put as many as you like saved. Pick the one you like, and you're back on it. Don't forget, everybody there, save those charts. The last thing you want is to be stuck, can't get hold of anybody, everyone else is busy, and you got rubbish up there, and you don't understand it or whatever. Do the long way around, just right click, go to properties and set the whole thing up again. I mean, you've got to set it all up again as you like it, and then okay it, obviously. But don't forget to save your charts. Those are the basics I tend to go through in every session, just to remind people, because last thing you want is to say, I can't get hold of somebody and you haven't got a saved chart. Any questions on that? Are we all good on that? You're good. Great. Okay, all right. Yeah. And you now know about the micro. We haven't got them yet, but maybe into next week we'll get the Dow. People like the Dow, S&P. We can now trade indices on a limited cash. And that was the major problem we had before. People didn't realize that and wondering why they're having a crash. You'll now know when you go to a share, you left click, highlight it, right click, specification. Just over, you know, I'm just going through to make sure other people know. Contract size is 1. You go to gold. Contract size is 10. 100 for oil. You get the idea. Go to Forex and contract size 100,000. That's why you go 0.01. You go minis and micros or whatever. You don't do that on shares. You go 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, or whatever it happens to be. If you go into, let's say, our good friend, let's do Microsoft. Let's get an idea quickly. Go macro. If you went to Microsoft, you cannot use this calculator. It'll give you false information. You need to go to your LMS and get the Excel spreadsheet. But I'll tell you a good way of doing it. Just take the stop loss away from the entry point, and that will be your risk in dollars per share. Clearly, you've got to put into rounds, you've got to round account. So let's just see what I mean by that. If you're going to put the stop up here, out the way up here. Say that's too close, put the stop up here. Make it $8 stop. So put the stop loss $8 above that, which would be 280.69 for argument's sake. The difference is clearly $8. So what's that tell you? It's $8 per share. So if you want to risk $8 or 140 rand, it's not 0.1, it's 1.0. You can do 1.5 to 2.5, you get the idea, but you don't want to be going in 0.01. And we've had guys who understand this gone in 0.01 and wonder why the profit loss is not moving, even though the price is moving. If the position size is too tiny, you won't see a movement until it's, you know, because it's just, you know, if it's TP, you get a box of matches, you get the idea. So make sure you get that lot size right, or rather share size, not lot, the position size right if you're doing it. Okay. That's what I'm saying. The margin is 1/10, $50. It's heavily leveraged. Point it out to the office because this is incorrect. Whether done anything about it, I'm not sure. No, they got this incorrectly. It's actually 0.024. They haven't changed that around. So I'm just telling you guys, don't worry about it. I'm just giving you the maths on this one. I've told head office about it. They're busy meetings or whatever. They're going to change that around to 0.024. The leverage is much, much, much smaller. I'll tell you what the leverage is. Actually, it's 40 to 1. Even on your 500 one, 40 to 1. If it was a 500 to 1 or 400 to 1 or whatever, it'd be R5, but no, it's 50 Rand is the margin, which means your leverage is 40 to 1, because the contract size for micro is 20,000 Rand. 50 goes to 20,000, 40 times. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. 50 Rand margin, everyone can afford it. You have a nice wide stop and it's doable. Okay, but that hopefully will be changed soon because it needs to take one of those zeros out. It's incorrect. If that was correct, it'd be 5 Rand margin. Hope everyone's with me on the maths on that one. Euro JPY bust. I'm joking. No, it's not. The stop loss at 55. You got it now, sorry, good stuff. It's not bust. So, which I don't want it to do. I think it's a good trade. I'm going to stick with my strategy. Don't like the look of it at the moment, but it's not bust yet. Oh, didn't get bust. I don't like the look of it at the moment, must admit. Thought that would hold. You know, this sort of area has been way back in December, a couple of months ago. And any sellers coming in? Maybe we get some sellers coming in. I don't know why that happened. No idea. You should be able to withdraw. I don't know why not. If the accounts with FSCA, you should be able to withdraw. I have no idea why you should be able to withdraw. Just go to the normal portal, or withdraw, go to the portal, or deposit withdrawal. Obviously, scroll to that section and fill in the missing figures. Yeah.
Roger, I see they announced South African CPI.
And
it's 0.2 instead of the expected 0.3%.
Okay, that's quite good. That's quite good. So it means that the likelihood of a less aggressive interest rate at the next MPC meeting. It's not much, but at least it's slightly on the good side from an inflation point of view. But it's not bad. You were talking about South compared to the overseas countries, and look at that. Compare that to 10% on the pound, eh? That's not bad, actually. Well, hang on, was that year on year or month on month or quarter on quarter?
Month on month.
Month on month, okay. We'll divide that by month by like 12, 36, 24. Still way below 2.5%, 3%. Well, that's not bad. Not bad at all, actually. That's, we're not moaning about price rising. That's not bad at all. Quite surprised. Any effect on the rand now, Reddit? Not much. I'll be honest with you, I think there's more, people are scared of, I think we all know we're scared. They're scared of the power problems we've got with Eskom. They're scared of the Transnet problems, which is transport, etc. So, and that's the big weight around our backs at the moment is the transport and of course the power problem. I think it overrides about everything at the moment. Been forecasting this for years been saying, got to sort it out. You know, until you have the crash, people don't ignore it, you know. Anyway, so good to know. Thanks for that. And I have to be honest, I'm surprised. That's actually pretty damn good. Somebody celebrate, hey? Okay, guys. Thanks again, Friday, for that. Yeah, did you hear all that? Yeah, that's nothing else. It's some good news. I know we're not on the dollar ads. It doesn't matter, but it's good news for everybody. Good note to end on. Go on.
I just see that on News 24, they only concerned about the red hot food prices that hit a new high, but that's a negative part of it.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I shop every Friday or Saturday, and I can see the difference already in the last couple of months. Yeah, I mean, it was only a couple of months ago getting bread for about 13, 14. Now it's about 17, 18. So it is an issue. But other than that, actually, it's not bad. But the problem is everyone's got to eat. And when you're on, and the average salary in South Africa is not high, and the outgoings are high, and they all have to eat. That hits that sector by far the hardest. So yeah, that's still an issue. I get that. But overall, I think it's like burning the 18th instead of bogeying it before you go into hole 19, i.e. the clubhouse. That's a bit of good news. Thanks for that. We'll end on that slightly more positive note, although I have to say the food prices ain't so positive. But anyway, okay. So we'll see how those trades go. Just keep fingers crossed the Euro JPY. Quickly check on the other two, GBP, what was the other one? GBP AUD. Yeah, hadn't quite managed to break through the round figure. So don't modify yet. If it does break through, maybe you can modify your stop. Reduce risk. GBP NZD.
Bit concerning.
GBP NZD is going the right. No, it's not. Wrong. But 7 pips higher, but it's not another trend smash. GBP AUD is in profit. Hope we can break down below 1.75, and then we can modify. Bit of concern is at the moment I've got the Euro JPY, and I'm sticking my guns. Don't know if it was my idea. I like it. Stick my guns. Still like it. I've got a feeling and hope that's not going to stop you up before it comes off again. Okay, so keep your fingers crossed on that one, and I hope we get some good news going in and see if we can get that Microsoft trade later on today. Okay, guys, as always, fantastic. As always, I enjoy myself, enjoy the interaction. I take on board a call I got from Scalp Fate yesterday, and I totally agree with everything you said. I'm trying to finesse where we don't spend too much time trying to spell out to people, hopefully the obvious, and spend more time getting the proper trades out. It helps everybody on that aspect. Okay, so just on that note, if you haven't got the educational package, you will need to get something in that line before you start trading. The trading room will be a little bit more complicated for you at the total beginner. So, of course, you're welcome. But if you don't understand it, you've got to get some sort of educational package. And you've got to understand the maths behind it. But we can take it up later on. So, cheers, guys. And yeah, see you at 4 o'clock. It was only 3 o'clock yesterday because the funding coming out. I will do the same. I'm hoping to start at 2 for the next one, which is coming out on Friday, the 3rd of March. So that's the non-farms. Just to try and get the new guys, someone come late, and they asked how to explain the straddle trade. We've got 5 minutes to go. Clearly that can't be done. So try and get them all in, ready to rock and roll. We've still got time to go over the straddle trade. I'll try it again then. Okay. Other guys who know the score, it's fine. But otherwise, yeah. It's always going to be 4 o'clock unless you're notified differently. Okay. Good stuff. Okay, guys. Catch you later. Ta-ta for now. Thank you, Solly. Thanks for your support. Be more one.